You know the old adage, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all? Or the one, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Actually, that's not true. Names, words, they do hurt. They hurt deeply sometimes. So today, what I'd like to do is talk about an aspect of ethics that all of us could use some work in, and that's speech. Speech, the ethic of speech. And the Buddha had, he listed 4 types of speech that he thought was unskillful. And I think it's useful for us to kind of parse it out that way because not all unskillful speech is the same. And, but they all of them have the consequence of hurting ourselves or hurting another. So the first one that he identified was lying, speaking falsely. And on first glance, that may seem like, oh, no, I'm a truthful person. I don't lie. But actually, all of us tell white lies. That's what we call them, little white lies. Not a big deal, right? But those little white lies, like when we have started out of the house late and we're supposed to be somewhere at a particular time, and a few minutes into the drive, we call our friend and say, I'm going to be late. Traffic is really terrible, right? That's not really true. It's not about the traffic. It's that we started late. Or when we have paperwork due to someone and we say, I'm almost finished, I'm almost done, and we haven't even started, right? You know, and it may seem like these may seem like, oh, no big deal, right? But they actually over time erode trust. The other one that I think of is when a friend comes in. Think about this: a friend comes in and they're all excited. They bought a new outfit, and they say, "What do you think?" And we think it's atrocious. We really don't like it. We don't say that. We usually come back and say, "You look beautiful," right? But there's a disconnect between how it feels in here and what we have said. You know, the skillful, one of the little skillful moves around that, because I think it's such an important little one, is how do you be truthful? How do you say something kind and be truthful there? And you might turn that right around and say, well, how do you feel in it? You look like you feel pretty happy in it. Good going. Good going. Right? So we support them in their how they feel about themselves in that out. Just a little thing. The second kind of speech, malicious speech, slanderous speech, hate speech. Now, the news and social media are full of that these days. Like it's shocking to me how no holds barred, people are just going to blurt out what they think in a very unkind, unskillful way. There's that sort of the erosion over time of courtesy, of really just respecting another person and being polite in a certain respectful way. That's slowly being eroded. And the piece that's about what's important about malicious speech is that there's an intention to cause harm. It's intended. Now, the other piece about malicious speech that we probably also can really relate to is when we're talking to a friend and we bring up a third friend in an unkind way, and then we bond around the person who's not there, the unkindness about the person who's not there, right? That kind of backbiting, it causes division among friends. And so it's not it's harmful. It hurts. It causes disruption in connection. The third kind of unskillful speech is harsh speech. And harsh speech is sometimes it has to do with the actual content. What we're saying is really harsh. The words, the content is harsh. But the other side of it is that the tone of voice may also be harsh. that too, unskillful. Harsh, harshness in tone, harshness in content. And this is one that I think is also very important for us to kind of put a circle around and think about, how do we speak to ourselves in the privacy of our mind? How often do we say we drop a cup and it breaks on the floor? I'm such an idiot. Look, I'm so clumsy. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. Those kinds of interjects, those kinds of comments toward ourselves hurt, are not kind. So the invitation here is really to also pay attention to how you speak to yourself, right? And the fourth kind of unskillful speech is useless or frivolous speech. Now, that comes in often when we're uncomfortable and need to fill the space of silence. And so we fill it with, something that doesn't really mean anything. There's no purpose really to the speaking other than to fill the void of space. So these are good things to kind of pay attention to when you do that. Now, just to say that sometimes, we think of pleasantries like "how's the weather" as being irrelevant, but actually it's not if the intention is, let's say, to make connection with someone that you don't know. And so we might start with a very open and neutral topic that then can invite a deeper kind of hello, right? That's useful. So pay attention to that part. Now, the Buddha also gave guidelines about what skillful speech is. And I like to think about these as well as kind of a nice way to sort of counterbalance the others. And he offered a list of 5, and I think they're lovely to really consider, because at any time then we can kind of check in and see, is what I'm saying a wise thing to say right now? So the first aspect or the first guideline is timeliness. Is it timely? We don't talk to somebody about their drinking when they're drunk. That's not a good time. Not a good time, right? We don't talk to somebody about their anger when they're angry. Not a good time, not timely. So timeliness is the first one. The second one is it truthful? Is what we're about to say truthful? The third, is it affectionate? Is it kind? Is it spoken kindly? I like to think about, is there a lilt in the voice as you're speaking? Is it done with a sense of heart, right? Caring and kindness. The fourth aspect of this is it beneficial? So again, something might be truthful, but not necessarily beneficial, right? It's not appropriate. We don't know the person well enough to actually tell them this. It's not beneficial right now. It's too early. It would actually cause division in our connection. So I might put that little one on hold for a while, right? So is it beneficial? And the fifth is it spoken from a mind of goodwill, right? Goodwill and non-harm, those are the markers for sila, for ethical conduct and in body, speech, and mind. Non-harm, goodwill. Okay. So is it timely, truthful, affectionate, beneficial, and spoken with a mind from a mind of goodwill? Those are the 5 helpful things for us in terms of skillfulness. And the unskillful ones, just to review: harsh, malicious, lying, and the fourth is it useful or useless speech, frivolous speech. All right. Wendell Berry, the poet, actually put a lovely twist on do unto others as you would have them do unto you. He says, do unto those downstream as you would have those upstream do unto you. do unto those downstream as you would have those upstream do unto you. A lovely little twist. I kind of like to think about it that way, you know, the skillfulness of that guideline. So the encouragement, you know, this month is actually to begin to be looking at ethics, and looking at ethics externally, how we speak in this sense, how we speak to others around us, in it verbally, or even in communication like email or social media. And then how do we speak to ourselves in the privacy of our mind? Are we being kind? Is it with the intention, with the mind of goodwill? Is it spoken kindly? Can we pay attention to the tone of the voice? And that will be the for us in this practice, this next practice that we do this morning, is to notice if there's any harshness, and see what we can do to soften the edges of that. Okay. All right. Enough words. Thank you for your attention. And let's begin to move into our meditation practice by first opening up the body with some nice big breaths, nice big inhalations, nice big exhalations, and move the body the way the body would be supportive, so we can relax and let go of whatever tension is present. Give it a little loving right now. So if you're sitting, see what you can do to say hello to all of the joints. Say hello to all of the little joints. Opening and releasing tension, and then we move into coming into stillness, coming into a posture that we can hold for the next little while. Give the body whatever supports it needs, maybe another cushion under the bum, maybe a cushion under the knees if the knees aren't touching, a cushion under the arms so that the shoulders can relax their burden. You can even do a little rocking of the upper body around atop the lower body, just to soften up the torso. And on the next few inhalations, opening up the whole of the interior from the base of the body, wherever it's touching, all the way through the torso, through to the top of the head. And on the exhale, we soften and widen around the shoulders, around the sides of the torso, all the way down through the base of the body, onto the cushion, onto the ground. Breathing in, opening and filling. Breathing out, softening and settling all the way down to the ground. Maybe softening around the eyes. Feeling into a little more kindness and caring attention. Giving the Giving the body full permission to let go of stress so we don't hold it in a rigid manner. And very deliberately letting go of our thoughts, letting go of the busyness of our minds, and really forming the intention for the next little while to feel into a comfortable, restful posture, coming into the present moment. Turning a caring eye onto ourselves. cultivating non-harm and goodwill, kind eyes, warm heart, soft breath, supple body. as if how it feels inside matters. Kindly attend. last few minutes of the meditation, coming back inside and feeling into whatever ease is available to you right now, and breathing with that experience of ease. Let that experience spread throughout the whole of the body. Let the mind dwell in that place for a moment. Open up the aperture and just feel the space around the body. How the body has as much room as it needs to be comfortable. And then open the aperture even wider and sense all of us sitting here with you, and you sitting here with us. Feel into the field of goodwill that permeates the space that we are all sitting in. Breathe with that experience of goodwill and let that wash over you. This is a gift we give each other and ourselves, coming together in this way, checking in inside and seeing how it is. And this is how we cultivate goodwill and non-harm, right here. Take a few more long breaths and breathe with the bell as it rings through you. Thank you for your practice.